What's up, Cluster Funkers? I'm Allegra, and I'm gonna play a couple songs for you so you can see how I sound. This song is called Gold Mine. I stepped in a gold mine, and what I found was more than I could ever ask for. I didn't want to take it all for myself. I want my friends to share that wealth. I would like to see a place where everyone can get along and prosper. There's nothing radical to allocate when we own. What can we give to make this world shine brighter? The gold mine should be open for everyone to find. What is missing in their lives a resource that is one to be more than 24 karat gold.
little bit about yourself.
So I'm Allegra. I am 22 years old. I'm a musician, a guitarist. I'm non-binary. I'm vegan. Those are just some descriptors, but mostly musician. I would say that's what I would call myself. I guess I'm not originally from Iowa. I was actually born in Albany, New York, but I lived there when I was a baby, so I don't remember it. And my family moved around, to different states. So we lived in Denver, Omaha, and then I moved to Des Moines when I was 9. So yeah, I've been pretty much doing music since I moved here. I started taking piano lessons, started guitar when I was 12. But yeah, I'm an Aquarius. My Chinese zodiac is Year of the Tiger, and my moon sign is Cancer, and my rising sign is Cancer. So yeah, I would say I'm a fun person to hang out with. I love talking about like social issues and philosophical stuff, but also just really random, funny stuff as well. Yeah, that's me.
How did you first get into music?
I started playing piano when I was 9 years old. I played classical piano, but before that, I really liked metal and rock because I have an older cousin that plays guitar, and he was in this metal band called Pariah from Omaha, Nebraska, and I thought that was like such a cool band, and I started listening to that when I was like in 2nd grade. So I always kind of liked that kind of music. And then as I kind of got older, I started, listening to more bands like Paramore, Flyleaf, Nirvana, and this is when I was like 12 years old. And I realized I wanted to really play that kind of music, or at least play like them. And so I started, learning guitar, and I took lessons at Ye Olde Guitar Shop when I was 13, and pretty much took guitar really seriously. I wanted to actually like play professionally and have a serious understanding of like music theory and like essential knowledge of music. So when I was 18, I applied to go to a music school. It was previously in St. Paul, Minnesota, McNally Smith College of Music. And I studied guitar performance there for a year and a half. And I also used to be in a band up there for about a year and a half as well, gigging and touring, which was really fun. But my school abruptly closed. So now I moved back here about a year ago, or actually a little over a year ago now. And I'm currently finishing a bachelor's degree from Berklee College of Music's online program. So yeah.
What does your creative process look like?
My creative process, I would say, when I write songs, it's music first. My brain thinks very instrumentally because I love like composition and arranging, and I love being really creative with the guitar. And I do play other instruments as well, but I mostly work on my guitar. So I think one of the most common things I do is I use my looper pedal, and I make like a rhythm part, or I kind of just make a cool jam. And then I like to play on top of it like a lead line. But even though I have like this music theory background with school, I actually don't rely on it a lot. I kind of just like to play whatever comes out. And then depending on how the music is sounding that I'm making, it'll kind of give me like a vibe or an emotional feeling. And then I'll start writing lyrics, whether it's something that's on my mind or I'm really passionate about, or it's just random. Some of my lyrics don't make sense. As long as the melody sounds really cool and fits into the guitar line, I'm like, yeah, that's cool, even though the lyrics don't make sense. But, and I would say most of my songs have messages and make sense, and they're very, like, they are what I care about a lot. But, yeah, I guess, so it's music first, and I kind of mess around with effects, and then I kind of create different chord progressions and vary them, and then I will put lyrics on top of it. If I'm feeling it, I might put it into, like, a DAW, and put I might put like MIDI sounds over it, or like program drums. And I'm not like a drummer. I understand drums, and I know how to, write for drum parts, so I can program drums if I want to, or, kind of jam out with that. But since I'm a solo artist right now, my goal is to be in a band. I write as if I'm in a band, but then when I play live, I kind of have to cater it down for one person to play. So that's my creative process.
What is the best advice you have ever been given related to music?
Yeah, I think I would say the best advice is to always be authentic. That might sound kind of cliche, but it is actually really true. I actually have to give advice frequently because I work with like young kids doing music through some programs. I work with Girls Rock Des Moines and School of Rock, so I feel like self empowerment and owning who you are is important when you're a musician. Another piece of advice would be don't be afraid of messing up badly when you play live or failing because there's nothing wrong with that and you can only learn from it. Because when I was younger, I didn't really have that advice given to me. I kind of had to learn it, and I was so afraid to play gigs because I didn't, not in all areas, I didn't feel super welcomed because, I mean, most of the people I was seeing around here were like male musicians, and I like didn't really see anyone like me a lot. And I was like, I kind of felt scared to jump into the music scene, and I would feel so afraid of like messing up playing in front of people, and I wouldn't do it. And so I would say that you have to just do it and be you. Don't be afraid to mess up. If you do, like, you learn from it. So that's my advice.
Tell us a little bit about Girls Rock.
Yeah, so Girls Rock Des Moines is a nonprofit organization that empowers girls, women, trans, and gender nonconforming people through the art of music. Girls Rock has been around for about 7, almost 8 years. So pretty much Girls Rock is awesome. This is my 4th year working with them. So pretty much what we do is it's music programming with a huge influence of social justice and empowerment. So the rockers we have at camp, they form a band. In that band, they write an original song, they do a cover tune, they create art to put on a T-shirt that they get screen printed. We used to do it at Ray Gun, but now we do it at Side Garage. They do different workshops and classes, so they might do like music tech, like learning to record in the studio, music theory. I did like a pedal and amp workshop. They also learn empowerment stuff, so they might do yoga or self-defense. We had a class or workshop about like gender identity and racial awareness and stuff like that. So basically Girls Rock is a very inclusive space, and the goal is one, to empower the Des Moines scene, because we serve communities in Des Moines and surrounding neighborhoods. What's really cool about Girls Rock is last year we got a $10,000 grant from Variety Children's, and with that grant we were able to build a recording studio at Franklin Junior High. With our recording studio, it's not up and running fully yet, but we have used it. We recorded the bands in our camp last year in our studio, and there's only one other studio in the whole US that is owned and operated by women or gender nonconforming people. So this recording studio that we just built, once we really get it off the ground, it will be the second recording studio in the whole United States that is, owned and operated by women or gender nonconforming people, which is a huge deal. And so yeah, Girls Rock is super cool. At the end of the 2 weeks of camp, they have a final showcase and they perform at Woolies. They perform the songs they wrote. All their songs that we record their original songs. It's compiled onto a mixtape, like a compilation, and then we release it as a CD. It's a super cool program.
How has music helped you in your life?
Music is my whole life, and I think I would be so boring without music, because it's the only thing that I can talk to people about that's so cool. Well, not the only thing. Music has helped me through quite a lot in my life. I mean, I think the main thing is music has shaped me into the person I am, and that has to do with like musicians that have influenced me. Like when I was a younger teen, I really liked Kurt Cobain and like Haley Williams, and like Tegan and Sarah. So I think just like the social aspect of music has really influenced me and the way that I present myself and all that. And yeah, music helps me a lot with mental health, I would say, and I think that's most people. Yeah, so like my first 2 years of high school, they weren't the best for me because I was having a lot of family issues. I didn't get like the best grades in high school, but I put so much effort into music and like worked really hard at being a really good musician, understanding my instruments and understanding how the music industry works so that I could do a career in music. Because of all the work and passion I put into it as a kid, it allowed me to grow up and actually do it as a career and not just a hobby. I was able to take everything I learned and apply it into my life now as an adult. And sometimes I think back being like a 12-year-old and I'm like, nothing has really changed. I still am really obsessed with music, you know? So I would say that because I've always done it for what seems like my whole life, 9 years old, it just covers myself, my being, you know? Yeah.
What local Iowa venues have you played at, and which is your favorite?
Gosh, I've wanted to play more, but I have played at Lefties and I've played at XBK. And I've also performed when I was younger. I did like some street performance stuff. It was kind of fun. But I would say I liked playing at Lefties a lot, but I actually really enjoyed playing at XBK. It's a new venue, but I think it's really cool. I love all the people that work there, and their sound system is amazing. I played there as kind of like an open mic, but I just want to play there again sometime. So I would say XBK, although I really like playing at Lefties as well. And I'm excited because I'm going to be playing at Vaudeville for the first time, and I've wanted to play there for so long. I'm going to be playing there with a friend actually in a couple of weeks. Her name is Colo Chanel. She's a hip-hop artist, like a rapper and hip-hop artist, and I'm gonna be playing there on one of her songs with guitar, so that'll be really fun because I've never gigged with like hip hop or rappers before, and I really respect and love that kind of music. It's actually really prevalent in my guitar playing. Anyway, that's kind of diverted. So those are where I played at XBK and Lefties.
What or who inspires your music?
I love this question. Okay, so I will kind of pull from different genres that I listen to. So the first genre that I started heavily listening to on my own was kind of like metal and rock. I would say Underoath has really influenced me. I love their music. Like I love Underoath as a band. I started listening to them in like middle school. I actually listened to them on Groove Shark. I don't think that place Groove Shark exists anymore. I think it got like taken down from the internet. So I listened to their album, They're Only Chasing Safety, and I was like in 7th grade and I was like, whoa, they're screaming, that's so cool. But that's when I first learned about drop D tuning. So the first song I sang and play was Reinventing Your Exit. I was a 14-year-old, and that was the first song I learned to play. And like other kids might have learned like more pop stuff, but I was like, I like this stuff. And I really like how Underoath, their guitarist, Tim McTagg, I think. I don't remember his name. I like how he writes for guitar. He doesn't have any knowledge of like music theory, but I really like how he uses a lot of like just dissonant sounds, and like they don't have like breakdowns like in metal, like, you know, and breakdowns are cool, but I like how Underoath stands out in that way. And then so that's kind of metal. Like I also like singer-songwriter, folk, indie stuff. I love Tegan and Sarah. They're like one of my favorite artists. I've seen them 3 times. I love their lyric writing, their songwriting, their harmonies, and I would say my favorite album of theirs is The Con, 2007, and I really like their music and how they blend together with their vocals, but also that album, The Con, is also really ambitious instrumentally. They really inspired me on a deeper level because I knew from a young age that I was gay, and Tegan and Sarah are openly gay, and they have been out since like the 90s, early 2000s, and when they were out, they were treated really, really badly earlier on. You know, people would not book them, and also like they're women as well, but they really inspired me on that level. And then I really like Paramore too. I love Paramore. I was really in 8th grade, I would like listen to All We Know Is Falling like on repeat every day, and instead of like doing homework. So I love Paramore, and I actually really like their drums on their records. I think their drumming is really cool, but I think those are like some early influences that I have. So,
what are your expectations for Clusterfunk?
I actually don't know what to expect, but I'm so excited about it. Like, I'm not gonna go in with any like preconceived ideas of like this is what it should be, but I'm so excited about it. And what I'm most excited about is that it's like local up and coming artists. And I was telling Jaden earlier when I got here that the scene in Des Moines needs to be built from within. And I think Clusterfunk is doing that. And I'm so impressed that it's a thing. So my expectations are, one, I believe that there's going to be a lot of people showing up. It's like a newer music festival, and I think people will be hyped about going and checking it out. I think everyone will be awesome on stage. I'm looking forward to it and excited to see what impact it will have in the city of Des Moines and just building up our scene that, because we have the potential to be really cool. And I would like our city to be recognized as more of a music city than it is right now, especially for local music, because with the modern music industry, local music is really how you can make a good living as a performing musician, is being really established with a secure local scene through venues or house shows. And I think Clusterfunk is an amazing opportunity for that. So,
if you could have one superpower, what would it be and why?
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, I have thought about this before and I know what it's gonna be. So this might not be as like cool sounding as like, oh, I wanna be invisible or I wanna run really fast. My superpower is that I want to be able to understand and speak any language in the world, ever. Like, that would be a dope superpower to, like, first of all, not put the effort in learning languages, which you have to do that. But I want to just, like, talk with everyone. And sometimes I feel sad when I see someone that looks really cool and then English isn't their first language. And I know some Spanish as well. I just want to be able to talk with everyone. And I think language is very much a barrier in our world. Like, there's a lot of issues when you don't understand someone, or people don't get considered if they don't speak a certain language to do something, for whether that's a job or an event. And so my superpower would be to like effortlessly just like speak any language and understand any language, and maybe also talk to animals too, because I love animals. Yeah, that's what I would say would be my superpower.